Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome to the Manchester United versus AC Milan match preview. Manchester United's final pre-season game as we head to Cardiff to take on AC Milan in the International Champions Cup, where actually there's a scenario where we can win the International Champions Cup. I'm not sure whether we actually get a cup or anything, but we are in a situation where we can win this pre-season tournament. So, exciting times ahead. But anyway, please do leave a like if you aren't already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Nearly on 740 subscribers now. Thank you so much for the support you guys have been showing. Really do appreciate it. And we're just going to be previewing the game today. Looking at AC Milan, looking at what they've got to offer. And also predicting the final lineup that Solskjaer is going to put out before the start of the Premier League season against Chelsea. And you know what? I cannot wait. I'm so buzzing for that, especially after transfer developments that have happened today. And if you want to check out my reaction, my initial reaction to Harry Maguire agreeing his fee with Manchester United and all but signing for Manchester United, go and check out the video up on the channel right now. Make sure you do check it out if you haven't already. But, you know, it's the last pre-season game. We're heading to Cardiff as well. And it should be good. It should be a good watch. Welcome to Car and Buster Sport. Welcome, Tech. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Tactical Show. Red Army MUFC and Tom. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Please leave a like if you aren't already. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And also, let me know your thoughts going into this AC Milan game. Who are you looking out for? And what players do you think have now the last chance to impress before the start of the new season? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. Renami MFC says, what's up? What's all the vids regarding transfers? It's looking very good. It is. It's looking decent. Obviously, Harry Maguire all but signed to Manchester United after agreeing an £80 million deal to sign with us. And, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have differing opinions on that. I know that Techman there says we got absolutely robbed. But I think £80 million is a bit steep. But we got the player in the end, and for me, that's all that matters. Welcome, Patrick. Welcome, 20 Sports. Thanks for joining. Make sure you do check out 20 Sports as well. Really good channel. Make sure you do check it out if you haven't already. Tom says Fred has his last chance to impress. I think Fred does. I think Pogba is obviously out of the game with a back spasm, so hopefully he's available for the Chelsea game. But Fred, yes, it does seem like he's been given such a huge opportunity now to play in this game and impress Solskjaer before the start of the season. And I do think he will start the game in absence of Pogba. Now, potentially we might see someone like a Gomez play in that position, but I think we're going to see Fred. And I think Fred, you're right, is running out of opportunities to impress. So we'll see, especially if we sign Bruno Fernandes as well. Welcome Manchester 12120. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. He says, thoughts on the David Neres rumours? I haven't really seen the David Neres rumours. Obviously, we are looking out for a right winger. We did sign Daniel James, but David Neres did look very, very good for Ajax last season. A brilliant player. Someone who's really lively, young as well, so would fit into this kind of new mould that Solskjaer seems to be building, which is based around the new players and giving them a chance. So I'll give him a go, but obviously not for huge wages. And also, I think we do need to focus on the central midfield, and that's why I really want to see Bruno Fernandes come in. I think he should be the main priority right now. It looks like we might be getting Paulo Dybala, which may be stopping the Bruno Fernandes deal. But who knows? Funny things can happen in this transfer window. Welcome, Ricky. Thanks for joining. He says Lingard should have a chance to impress. He's a great young prospect. Yeah, he's still a young player, only 27. You know, I mean, he's basically just come from the academy now. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, 27 and he's still being called a young player. That is mad. That is mad. I hope I'm still being called young at 27. But anyway, welcome Fergie United. He says Maguire is a great signing. I think he could be United captain within a year. I think he's got the leadership qualities, and Solskjaer talked about that in an interview he did, a few months ago. We do need that sort of leader, that strong leader, and also for me as well. Some people have criticised me for saying this, but I think the partnership between him and Lindelof could be really good because of the differing styles of their play. Lindelof, a lot more slender, a bit shorter, but he's really, really confident at playing out from the back. Maguire can also play with his feet, but he's a much more dominating centre-back, someone who's a leader at the back, really good in the air, and I think that sort of partnership harps back to the Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic days. And I'm not saying that Lindelof and Maguire are going to be as good as Vidic or Ferdinand. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, hopefully they are, but I think they are going to be a decent centre-back pairing, and I'm hoping they can hit the ground running against Chelsea, and I'm just really looking forward to having a solid centre-back partnership for the first time in years, let's face it. Welcome TTX, thanks for joining. He says, hey guys, no more Phil Jones, thank all, praise the Most High. I know, I mean, obviously Phil Jones, he's had a good stint at Manchester United, but it does look like the Maguire deal may have brought to an end the reign of Phil Jones at Old Trafford. I think we'll probably still see him in the squad. I think Solskjaer does rate Phil Jones, as mad as that sounds, but I do think Solskjaer does rate Phil Jones. So I feel as if, he will still be in a squad. The squad and will be a squad player, will be kind of rotated in competitions and things like that, which I think is fair enough. But I think him to be a starting centre-back at a club as big as Manchester United, I don't think was going to work out. So it's great to see that we brought Maguire through the door. Manchester 12120 says Lukaku is tweeting a lot right now about his lack of pace. Think he's burning bridges. There you go. I don't know what I mean. I think it'd be a bit stupid of Lukaku to do that, but you know, I think it's, for me, I'd always want to leave on good terms, especially a club like Manchester United. Tom says, do you think we can pull the Dybala deal off and get him? I don't know. I mean, obviously it seems like the Dybala deal right now is in advanced stages. The speculation is suggesting that, it's all on Dybala really, and I have seen some rumours that potentially his image rights and other complicated things like that are what's stalling the deal at the moment. But I think we can get Dybala. Obviously, reports are also suggesting that the Lukaku side of the deal is agreed, and obviously Juventus have agreed their part with Lukaku, and Lukaku seems very eager to leave Manchester United and join Juventus. So I think that part of the deal is done. It's just about Paulo Dybala now, and I think we will know by Sunday what's going to happen with Paulo Dybala. So I think there will be some rapid developments in the Paulo Dybala news either tomorrow or on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. We'll be covering that on the channel as well. But I think we can get Dybala. I think the negotiations are in such advanced stages that I'd be surprised if we didn't get Dybala. Of course, he could say no, and I think a lot of people are saying that Dybala doesn't want to come to United and we're forcing a move through. And obviously, I'd rather players come to Manchester United who want to be there rather than being forced to be there. But he's a hell of a player, and I'm hoping that he sees Manchester United as a means of proving Sarri and Juventus wrong, who want him out. I hope it really ignites the fire in his belly. So if we do get Dybala, I think that'll be a major coup from our point of view. But I think we can, Tom. I think we can, to answer your question. Ricky says, let's not jinx Jonesy just yet. He was given a new contract recently. That is true, actually. That's definitely true. Patrick says, hope Pogba Dybala doesn't turn out like Pogba Lukaku. Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, they did have a good partnership when they were playing, but Lukaku's second season just didn't really work out. But Pogba and Dybala do seem to be almost the best of friends. They get on so well. Obviously, they were almost like brothers at Juventus, so hopefully we can reignite that flame again. And TTX says we could have the top 3 best defence in the league with that lineup. It's looking good, and also it's looking good for the future as well. If you think we've got Wan-Bissaka, who's 21, or I think he's 21, Maguire 26, Lindelof who's about 24, 25, and we've got Luke Shaw who's like 23 or something like that. So we have got a decent defence and potentially a decent defence for the next 8, 9, 10 years. So it's looking good, and I'm really hoping that Harry Maguire can hit the ground running, especially for £80 million. Welcome Rashford, by the way. Thanks for joining, Rashford. Really appreciate it. TTX says we need a better midfield. Till then, I don't see us being a top 4 side. I mean, if we bring in Bruno Fernandes, we're looking good for next season. I think our target for next season, realistically, has to be, trying to go for that top 4 spot. And I think we can do it. especially with the money we've spent in this market. We've really tried to target our defence, which is something that we've been meaning to do in the transfer window for years now, so I'm so happy that we're doing that. Welcome, Tech Man. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Good morning. Thanks for joining, Tech. Hope you're having a lovely day. And yeah, guys, if you haven't already, please leave a like. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But we are going to talk a bit about AC Milan now. Of course, I love answering your questions and your comments and things like that. But we are going to talk a little bit about AC Milan and this game tomorrow. AC Milan come into this game off the back of 2 losses in the ICC, the International Champions Cup. They lost 1-0 both times, 1-0 against Bayern Munich and 1-0 against Benfica, so they're not in the best of form coming into this one. However, they're still a decent side, and we got to look out for them. Obviously, they were in the Europa League last season, similar to us this season, who are in the Europa League. But they've got some decent players, there's no doubt about that. And we know that. We know AC Milan is one of the biggest clubs in world football. Probably similar to us, really, who AC Milan used to be amazing, but they've taken a bit of a fall from grace. And it's a very similar situation to us. I feel like we're probably more on the rebuild than them. But AC Milan is still going to be a challenge for us. And also, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but there is a scenario where we can win the International Champions Cup, which would be a confidence booster going into the Premier League season. We have to beat AC Milan by 3 goals or more tomorrow to win the International Champions Cup. Benfica, who are currently in first place, have played all their games and have a goal difference of +5. We have a goal difference of +2. So you do the maths. Obviously, you guys will know we have to win by at least 3 goals. And I mean, you know what? Anything's possible in pre-season. I think AC Milan, they've only conceded 2 goals in the International Champions Cup, so it's going to be difficult to get more than 3 goals past them. But it should be a fun game. Hopefully we do go out, try and entertain the fans in Cardiff, who will probably be a majority Manchester United crowd. And I'm looking forward to watching it, especially after the signing of Harry Maguire, or the near signing of Harry Maguire anyway. Let's face it, he is pretty much a done deal. But at the same time, it's just a good boost. And I mean, some people were even saying he could potentially be in the squad for the game. That obviously hasn't happened. He hasn't had his medical yet, but hopefully by the end of tomorrow we will have Harry Maguire signed up to Manchester United. We'll see him in the red of Manchester United, and potentially as well Paulo Dybala or even a Bruno Fernandes deal agreed as well. So that's really a bit about AC Milan. They're a decent side. They're a decent side. Should give us a good test before the start of the season. All I'm asking is that they don't play dirty and they don't injure any of our players. That's all I'm asking. Welcome, Football Fan Fever. Thanks for joining. Make sure to check out his channel as well if you haven't already. Really, really good stuff. Make sure you do check out Football Fan Fever. Manchester 1-2, 120. So I think Bruno won't sign. Tottenham seem really interested. Hope I'm dead wrong though. Yeah, I mean, look. Spurs do seem to have come in from the shadows and come in, and looks like they're going to steal Bruno Fernandes away from us. And of course, we have been kind of engaged in other deals whilst Bruno Fernandes' deal has been going on. Some journalists reporting that United still have a chance of signing Bruno Fernandes, but I think it does depend on how fast we can get this Dybala deal over the line, or whether we do get this Dybala deal over the line. Once it's out of the way, whether Dybala comes or goes, I think then we'll focus on Bruno Fernandes. If the Dybala deal does continue to drag on, I think that lessens our chances of getting Bruno Fernandes. So I think most of the fan base, I'm not even going to ask the question, because I think most of you guys would probably rather Bruno Fernandes come in than Paulo Dybala. But still, Paulo Dybala, very, very good player. So it's a good choice to have, really. It's a good kind of toss-up to have. Tech says, would Sir Alex include the ICC as a trophy? Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. But of course, winning a trophy on pre-season, it just adds to it, really. Obviously, it doesn't matter too much. You saw Spurs winning the Audi Cup. First piece of silverware for them in a while, so they're very happy with that. But ultimately, it doesn't really mean anything, and I think they know that as well. But it's just a nice thing to have. It's a nice thing to put by your name, ICC, champions. I think that'd be the first time in a while that United actually won it. I'm not sure if United have ever won it in the past, but if they have, then fair play. But I don't think United have won it in the past. Rashford says Bruno all day long wants to come. You think Bruno Fernandes wants to join United? I mean, I have seen rumours that Bruno Fernandes wants to join United, but I'm not. I mean, I would wish, I wish you'd act on it. If he really wanted to join United, I wish you'd make his feelings clear, because it would make it much easier for Manchester United to do something about it. Manchester 12120 says Arsenal would definitely include ICC Audi Cup as a trophy. I'm sure they would, mate. I'm sure they would. That's the sort of club they are. But of course, if we do win it, it'll be nice. I'm not sure whether we actually get to lift the trophy or not, but still, as I said, it'll just be a nice thing to have by your name. But I am going to go on to my predicted lineup for the AC Milan game, and as I've said all through pre-season, if you've been watching my previews, these lineups are complete guesswork. So let me know your thoughts on my lineup in the live chat, and if you are watching as a video, let me know in the comments below as well. So I've gone with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Christian, I remember, who's been on most previews, has been nagging me, saying it's not going to be a 4-3-3 and it's going to be a 4-2-3-1, and he has been right, fair play to him. So I'm going to go back to a 4-2-3-1. Going to go with a strong lineup. I feel like Solskjaer, it's the game before our first game of the Premier League season. He'll want to get an idea of what his starting 11 is going to be like against Chelsea. So Tech, if you're watching, if you do watch the AC Milan friendly, I think you'll get a very good idea of who's going to be starting against you on Sunday. So that'll be interesting for you to watch. But I feel like it's going to be a strong 11. I've gone with De Gea, Shaw, Lindelof, Jones, and Wan-Bissaka. Now, I think if this is going to mirror the lineup that is going to start against Chelsea, I feel like Maguire is going to be in there alongside Lindelof instead of Jones. I'm going to go with Matic and McTominay as the two holding midfielders. I would have gone with Paul Pogba where Fred was, but of course Pogba is out with an injury, with a back spasm. So I've gone with Fred instead. Rashford and Daniel James out on the flanks, and then Anthony Martial up front. And it looks a decent side. Of course, there's still some transfer activity to be done, so I don't think that is going to be the finished side that we play in the Premier League this season. But it looks an alright side. And there's still areas which need to be improved, but still, it doesn't look too bad. But that's what I'm predicting for tomorrow. And as I said always, if I do get all of that right, it'll be an absolute miracle. Apparently we won it once. Well, hopefully we win it again. Hopefully we win it again. Full Fan Viewer says, seeing Jones on that lineup just makes me depressed. I know, but no, not too longer, mate. You don't have to wait much longer to see a fresh-faced, fresh-faced centre-back in there. It's going to be lovely. Techman says Frank Bruno Fernandes wants Champions League football. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people have compared him to Frank Lampard, but yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. We can't offer him Champions League football, and let's face it, a lot of players around Europe, that's what they want, and it's going to be difficult for us. And I think it is going to be about paying money. I think it was definitely about paying the money for Harry Maguire. So we're probably going to have to do that again if we are going to go in for Bruno Fernandes. Full fan fever says Pogba injured. Oh God, hope he's back for Chelsea. Reports suggest that he will be back for Chelsea, and I hope that is true. Solskjaer says he'll be back ready earlier in the week, so hopefully he'll be able to get himself fit for the game against Chelsea on Sunday. Manchester 12120 says, won't our new signings take time to integrate though? Dybala and or Bruno haven't had a pre-season with us. Why do we leave the main transfer so late? It is annoying, and I think that is going to be a factor, especially with the Dybala deal, who hasn't trained with Juventus or hasn't played football for probably about a month. So I think even if he does sign, I think it will take him time to adapt. And also Bruno Fernandes as well. He has played a few pre-season games, but ultimately it's going to take time to gel. And I think that is something which is a problem with signing players so late, is that you don't get that time to gel into the team and get to know your teammates. And it's going to be difficult, but I think most United fans will just be happy if we do get the signings over the line. But I think it's a good point you raise. Rashford says AC Milan are not a Europa League next season because they automatically removed themselves to focus on the league. I didn't know they could do that, but yeah, fair play to them. I wish, in some ways, I wish United did that because, you know, Europa League football really does hamper your Premier League credentials. Or your Premier League chances, sorry, I should say. Krishna, welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. He goes with 2-0 win to Manchester United. As it stands in the table, Krishna, that actually wouldn't be enough to win United the ICC, the International Club Championship or something. I've forgotten what it's called already. But anyway, you guys will obviously remind me in the live chat. I think it's called the International Champions Cup or something like that. Oh, yeah. International Champions Cup. We have to win the AC Milan game by 3 or more goals to win the International Champions Cup. But obviously that's not the main priority. The main priority for me is we get fitness in the legs and no injuries. Just no injuries, honestly. Wrap everyone up in cotton wool. We don't need any injuries before the start of the season. It's too late on to get an injury. TTX says, I've heard from Simon Peach that Ollie, when interviewed, said there are more signings on the way after Maguire deal was done. Well, that is very promising, and I think a lot of United fans will be happy to hear that. Because I feel like, you know, obviously with the Dybala situation and also the Bruno Fernandes situation, if those two deals were able to be done, I think they'll be looking very, very good. So hopefully we see that. Welcome, Phil Mitchell. Thanks for joining, Phil. Really appreciate it. Live from Albert Square. Thanks for joining. He says, hoping for a good game tomorrow. Me too. I'm hoping for an entertaining game. You know, but obviously, if United do win by 3 or more goals against AC Milan, it's looking good for us. It's looking good because that will mathematically mean we win the International Champions Cup. So I was about to read out what Tech put there. I was about to read that out. He nearly did me. He nearly got me. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I was about to read that out. But yeah, International Champions Cup, all we need to do is win by 3 or more goals. So I'll be gassed, you know, if we do win that. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything at all, but it'd be nice just to win it and, you know, get that kind of title next to our name. We can say we won a bit of silverware. I know it doesn't count for anything, but still. But yeah. International Champions Cup. Thanks for reminding me, sorry. Yep. Christian says Mandzukic deal would be done on Monday for 50 million for backup to Rashford. I'll tell you what, I think the Mandzukic deal is one which has kind of come out of the blue with the Dybala deal. Now, for me, I'm not too sure about Mandzukic. Yes, he's an alright centre-forward, but he's 33 years old. Realistically, we're not going to be able to get too much out of him. But still, he's an alright, you know, I think he is an underrated centre-forward, a focal point. Who knows? I mean, if we were able to get him for, like, really small money, like, as you said there, 15 million, then I wouldn't be too annoyed about it, because spending 15 million on someone like that wouldn't be too bad as a backup option. You do need squad depth, especially when you're playing in the Europa League. So, again, I mean, we'll see what happens with it. TTX says, any news on restructuring, aka Director of Football? I don't have any news personally. I haven't really heard much news on the new Director of Football. I don't think we're going to appoint one until at least Christmas. So I think that's the only news I can give you on that one. Phil Mitchell says, do you think we need Mandzukic with Mason Greenwood coming through the ranks? It's a good question, because a lot of people were saying actually that maybe we should just promote Mason Greenwood. He's been looking really, really good in pre-season as well. Scored, I think, 2 goals in pre-season. He's looked good. Whether he's ready for the Premier League or not, I'm not sure. But I do think he will play a part in a few of the games this season, especially with the amount of squad rotation that we're going to have to do. So, it's an interesting one. I think, obviously, it's good to have as much squad depth as possible. So, I mean, I'll let you guys decide that. But for me, I would much rather promote Mason Greenwood than bring in Mario Mandzukic. But, of course, we'll see what happens. Rashford goes with a 4-2-3-1. De Gea to Nzabi, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, McSauce, Fred, Dallo, Pereira, Rashford and Martial was his predicted 11. Probably as good as mine. Probably as good as any you'll see. Full Family says, Mandzukic, please go to China. We're not Pensioner FC anymore. Yeah, that's the thing. He is 33 years old. And whilst we have had good players who are a bit older, aka Zlatan Ibrahimovic, do a madness in the Premier League, I'm not sure about Mandzukic. I'm not convinced, but I will support him if he does come to United. I will back him all the way. But as of right now, I'm not too convinced on him. Manchester 12120. Does that mean we need a good plan B? After Fellas left, we've not had that. That is true. I mean, obviously, Fellaini did offer us that focal point going forward. So yeah, I think he will offer that. He will offer us that, definitely. And I think, especially since Lukaku's gone, if Mandzukic does come in, we will be able to, as you said, as a plan B, whip crosses into the box, and he'll cause mayhem in the box as well. So maybe a good thought. Christian says, Maguire deal done. Finally, Man United back on fire. Waiting for Bruno Fernandes' private jet for medicals. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping you're right on that. I'm not sure whether the Bruno Fernandes deal is realistically at that sort of stage, but still, I'm hoping you're right. Phil Mitchell says, I think he's proved himself this pre-season and against Cardiff on the last day of the season. If they're good enough, they're ready. If they're good enough, they're old enough. And I totally agree with you there, mate. I totally agree with you because ultimately, that's what Man United's all about. This club is built on that foundation that you just said there. If they're good enough, then they're ready to go in the team. It doesn't matter about their age, and that's what the club is built on. That's one of their main principles. So I think it'll be brilliant to see that tradition continue. And I think Mason Greenwood probably has the most chance of getting minutes next season. We've seen Angel Gomez, we've seen Tahith Chong, and I think they will get minutes next season as well. But I think Greenwood is someone who looks really, really promising. So I wish him the best. And obviously, if we do bring in Mandzukic, I think Mason Greenwood's going to have a bit less time on the pitch. But I don't think Mandzukic would want to come to Manchester United if he was only going to get, kind of a few minutes here or there. TTX says Greenwood is 17 years young, but looks class and ready. He does look brilliant. Mason Greenwood does look very, very good. And I'm not 100% sure whether he's a striker or whether he's a winger. Let me know your thoughts. Would you play Mason Greenwood as a winger or would you play him as a centre forward? What do you think is his best position? Let me know your thoughts. Manchester 12120 says, what are your thoughts on McTominay as a player? I think Scott McTominay's an alright player, to be fair. I think, he does a job. He's one player who gets what it means to play for Manchester United. He's come through the youth setup. He's done a brilliant job at getting to where he is so far. And I think he gives his all for the shirt every time he gets on that pitch. And I think he's done really well. I think he's decent. So, I think obviously he will get a lot of minutes this season. I think Solskjaer trusts him. But I think he's a decent player. I totally agree. Phil says, how many more signings do you think we'll make this transfer window? Realistically, I think we'll only make one more signing. Obviously, there's only about 5 days left of the transfer window. So it's going to be difficult to make more than one signing. But you never know what Ed Woodward's got under his sleeve. So hopefully we can see Dybala and Bruno Fernandes come into Manchester United. I doubt it, but you hope. You live in hope, don't you? Rashford says, I would get Pedro from Fluminense any day over Mandzukic. He is a genius for 50 million. I don't know too much about Pedro, but I'll have to look him up. TTX says, Greenwood as a striker, that's where his best game in the academy. Of course, his stats in the academy are absolutely incredible. So, Greenwood as a striker, that's what TTX says. Full Fan Fever says, all I'm going to say is Greenwood and Chong are miles away off Rashford. And I think, to some extent that's true because, Rashford's had, 2 full seasons as a Man United regular? Well, 3 full seasons, really, if you count Mourinho's first season. So, he's had 3 full seasons as a Manchester United first team regular. Greenwood hasn't even had, half a season as a Man United first team regular. So, that sort of experience is going to help them in the future if they do get minutes under their belts this season, which I think most Man United fans hope they do. But I think Greenwood looks really good and I think he could potentially be a star for the future of Manchester United. But we'll wait and see on that one. Anyway, I'm going to give my score prediction on this game, the Man United AC Milan, the final pre-season match of the 2018-19 season. Let me know your score predictions right now in the live chat if you are watching and in the comment section down below as well. Really interested to hear what you guys think the score's going to be in this one. My score prediction is going to be 3-1 to Manchester United. I think we will get the 3 goals required, but I think AC Milan will peg us back with 1. So, I'm going to go with 3-1. I think Daniel James will get his first goal for Manchester United. I think Marcus Rashford will get on the score sheet as well. And you know what? I'm going to go with Anthony Martial getting one. So Martial, James and Rashford getting the 3 goals for Manchester United. And I'm going to go 3-1. Unfortunately, that would mean Benfica win the International Champions Cup over us. But hey-ho, no injuries and just good fitness is all I want from this game. Phil says Greenwood will be better than Rashford. Mark my words. There you go. Big statement from Phil Mitchell there. Christian says only 5 days remaining. Who will join? Ollie confirmed club will show the 2 fresh faces next season. One is Maguire, done deal. Next who? Bruno, Savage, Matuidi, Dybala, Mandzukic. Who knows, mate? Honestly, who knows at this point? But hopefully one of them. Hopefully one of them. If I had to put my money on it, it would probably be Dybala. Just because the Dybala rumours seem to be so kind of down the line. The negotiations seem to be so deep that I'd be surprised if we didn't get Dybala at this point. Full Fan Viewer says, when I say that, I mean they are much better than Rashford. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. No, actually, I get what you mean. Phil Mitchell says Chong needs to bulk up. I do agree that, Chong does need to bulk up a bit. I think he might need to take a leaf out of Marcus Rashford's book and get a bit of muscle on him, because he does have talent there. We've seen he has talent. There's a reason why he's been picked to play some of the games in the first team squad. And in pre-season, he has looked all right. He does have talent, but I think in the Premier League, I think you do need to have that sort of strength about you. You do need to have a presence on the pitch, because if not, you're going to get blown away. And that's what, potentially Chong needs to do. So, good point there from Phil Mitchell. Krishna goes with a 2-0 win to Manchester United. Rashford and Victor Lindelof scoring the goals for you. Fair play. You know what? Lindelof getting a goal. He doesn't often score, so I'd be happy with that. Welcome on and off the pitch. Welcome Rodney. Thanks for joining. Make sure you do check out the On and Off the Pitch podcast and YouTube channel. Really, really good channel. Make sure you do check it out if you haven't already. Yes, we're talking about Mason Greenwood. Let me know your thoughts on him. We've been talking about whether Greenwood is primarily a winger or a striker, and do you think Greenwood is going to get minutes next season? And how long as well do you think it will take Mason Greenwood to become an established player in the first team? Or do you think he won't and he'll go on loan like James Wilson? Manchester 1-2-20 says, I really hope Fred does bits this season. He seems to have a good head on him, but he really needs to come up to expectations. Well, I think Fred, for me, I think his career at Manchester United could be over. I think especially if we do sign another central midfielder. I don't think we're going to sign Bruno Fernandes. I'd be very, very surprised if we did sign Bruno Fernandes. But I think for Fred, unless he produces miracles at Manchester United this season, then I just don't see him being here at the start of next season or the 2020-2021 season. I don't see it. So again, unless Fred absolutely becomes, I don't know what, maybe this season the Fred that we thought was going to turn up is going to turn up. Who knows? But I don't know. I do fear for Fred. I do fear for him. Phil says Dan James reminds me of Adama Traore. Very good dribbler, rapid, but no end product. That has worried me slightly. I've seen him in pre-season, and a lot of people have been saying, he's been lively and, he's done well. And I think he has done well in places, but one thing that he's been lacking at Manchester United from wingers in general is the final ball, is the end product. And I was frustrated watching our last game. I think it was against Christensen. The last game against Christensen was so frustrating because the final ball was shocking. And if Daniel James, obviously he's still young, so he's still got a way to go. But at the same time, the final ball is what we needed. We needed someone to come in and would be able to play a final ball more often than not, consistently well. And Daniel James this pre-season, whilst he has tried to make things happen, I feel like in some cases he's played it too safe. And he's kind of passed it to a Rashford or a Martial just because they're more senior players. I would love to see him actually try and go at the back four. Try and make things happen. So I'm still hopeful for Daniel James. Of course, you can't tell a huge amount from a player just off pre-season. So we'll see what happens when he plays in the league, or if he even starts in the league as well. We'll see what happens with that. Christian says Man United should have gone for the most talented Hakim Ziyech and Van der Beek, young talented, which will perfectly suit Ole's game. I mean, that's true, but why would they want to leave a Champions League side in Ajax to come to Manchester United and play Europa League? I don't see why they would. I mean, they're being touted by some of the biggest clubs in the world, so why would they want to come to United? Rodney said, it's strange seeing my name change. It is Ronnie Cyrus. Cheers. Oh, yeah, it is a bit strange. But, no, I think it does suit you, of course. The famous On and Off the Pitch podcast. The world famous. Phil Mitchell says, we need a Lou left back. Luke Shaw isn't good enough. And he got let off last season because Ashley Young made him look good. But Wan-Bissaka has shown him up this pre-season. I mean, so it's a point. It definitely is a point. I have seen some, people's opinions floating about on social media, especially, saying that Luke Shaw actually hasn't had a great pre-season. And, whilst we are hyping up this defence that we're building with Maguire, of course, seemingly finalising his move today, on paper it does look good. But maybe you've got a point, Phil. Maybe you've got a point there. Too late and spot on, Kieran. Yeah, well... Thank you very much. Manchester, 12120 says Lukaku is starting beef with Mata and Shaw on Twitter. I mean, I haven't seen that. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was Lukaku, I wouldn't be wanting to burn any bridges, but I haven't really seen it, so I can't fully comment. I'm going to be like a politician. I can't fully comment. I'm not going to comment. No comment. Anyway, Christian says, I've changed my mind. It would be a 3-goal win for Man United. Rashford, Lindelof, and Agent Greenwood in 85 plus minutes. Well, there you go. I mean, you change your prediction to be more positive. I mean, who would have thought it? The new Manchester United is a new Manchester United. We're getting more positivity. Hopefully, it doesn't completely fade away as the season starts. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, 3-0 win to United then. Ronnie says anyone called Phil Mitchell gets a thumbs up. So I can't disagree with that. It's a fair shout. Phil Mitchell from Albert Square, reporting from Albert Square. Manchester 12120 says fair enough. All right, yeah. Well, no, I mean I haven't seen it. I'll definitely check it out, and I'll see what all the fuss is about, as they say. But I haven't actually seen what's going on. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Phil also says Man United starting left back isn't even picked for the England setup. That says it all. I mean, he did have a few games for England, but that is true. Of course, it does seem to be like Danny Rose and Ben Chilwell get ahead of him. So it's an interesting point. Very interesting point from Phil Mitchell there. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, pre-season, you can't tell too much about your players. All I want from tomorrow's game, fitness in the legs, no injuries, no more injuries like Eric Bailly. We don't need any more Eric Baillys. Please just get through the 9 minutes, hopefully with a positive result and a positive performance, and hopefully we might even be able to win the International Champions Cup. So hopefully we do get the win. But that's all. I'm going to answer a few questions actually before I go, but I am about to leave. Thanks for joining Manchester 120. It was fun for me as well, and it's always fun doing these streams. Ronnie says background image looks great, mate, and the graphics, who made these? Rashford Jawara made them. I'm not sure if you do. I'm not sure if you know who Rashford Jawara is. I'm not sure if he's still in the live chat. If he is in the live chat, I'm sure he'll pop up. But he did make the starting 11 graphics. So I think he's on Twitter as well. So I think you can search him up. So yeah, I think he was the one who made the starting 11 graphics. I wish I could be like that, but I can't. I'm not artistically inclined, as they say. But yeah, it was Rashford Jawara who made them. I can always point you towards him on Twitter. But yeah. And Phil says, been a class stream. You've got a new sub here, mate. Thanks, Phil. Really appreciate it. Please do leave a like if you aren't already, guys, as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. And the final comment goes to Krishna. Man United means complete. Man U means complete positive this season. Ollie's going to have a great season and bring back our legendary Man United club in the correct position. I'm so happy I read that comment last because it just ends it on a positive note. And you know what? Yes, there's still areas we need to improve, but why not be positive? Why not? And hopefully we can get a positive result tomorrow to continue the good vibes. But anyway, thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. Really appreciate your support as always. I'll see you tomorrow for the review of the game and potentially more transfer news. But thank you very much for watching. And for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for support, and I'll see you guys later.